Hey gang, it's me. Today I'm going to teach you how to write a basic resistance training routine. So this is going to be part instructional and part tutorial, and I'll walk you through how to actually complete the homework assignment for the week. So let's jump right in. All right, gang, I'm here in the chapter 14 PowerPoint for the week. And I wanted to bring your attention to this acute program training variables. These are the variables that we're going to change for the resistance training routine. These are the ones that we think about when we write a single day routine. So the things that we need to think about are the exercises that we select, the order of the exercise, so what order we put them in, the resistance, so the intensity of the exercise, the volume, the sets and the reps, and the duration of the rest between the sets. And these are all components that you have to fill out for your assignment. When we're choosing an exercise, we want to think about what body part we want to work, and we want to think about what the client's goals, needs, likes, and dislikes are. So first we think about, are we going to assign a multi-joint exercise or a single joint exercise? Are we going to do a bilateral exercise, or are we going to do unilateral exercise? As we know from our exercise modifications, our unilateral exercises are going to be harder than our bilateral exercises. So it's really going to depend on your client. Everything is very individual. Something that's not individual are these things of order of exercises. I think students have a hard time with this. I think it's pretty complicated too, so I understand why. You kind of have to triage how you're going to put exercises. I prefer to think about, when I'm triaging, I think about multi-joint exercises always before single joint exercises. So whenever I prescribe exercise, you'll see all the multi-joint exercises first, and you'll see all the single joint exercises last, and then I finish off with the core exercise. After I've selected which multi-joint exercises I'm going to do, I triage by the size of the muscle group. So for example, the legs, so quads, glutes, hamstring, all that kind of stuff, those are going to be, my legs are larger than my upper body, my arms. So if I'm trying to decide between doing a chest press first or a bench press before a squat, I probably personally would choose a squat before a bench press because the muscle group is just larger, and so that's how you would triage that. I mean, alternatively, what you could do if your client, you want to prioritize what the client's needs are. So if they're really weak in their chest, and that's something that they're looking to improve, maybe you decide to prioritize by putting chest press before squat. Not a decision I would make, but I suppose some could argue that that would be something that you could do. Something else I didn't mention, because most people aren't going to be prescribing these types of movements, is you want to put your explosive lifts first. So for example, you want to do your Olympic lifts, your clean, your jerk, your snatch. All of those are going to be first. You're most likely not going to be prescribing those. You probably prescribe squat or something similar, and those would be first. And the reason those are first is because they're explosive and they require the most technique. They're also the most intense. So to me, it's like, well, is it because they're intense, or is it because they're explosive? These are kind of the same thing to me. Next thing you want to think about when you're ordering exercises is, okay, am I doing a full body? If I'm doing a full body technique, a full body routine, I'm going to triage multi-joint first. Then within multi-joint, I'm going to do muscle size or body part size. And then from there, I might look at push-pull. So for example, I might prescribe, let's see, if I'm doing an upper body day, I might do chest press first. That's a push exercise because I'm pushing to push the weight up. The next might be a pull exercise, lats, right? So I might do a lat pull down next because that's a pull exercise. Then I might want to do a shoulder press exercise, shoulder press machine or something like that, which is another push exercise, and then I'll follow that up with another pull multi-joint exercise. If you're doing a full body session, you might want to go upper body, lower body. So squat, followed by bench press, followed by, I don't know. You kind of have to think about it. As long as, I think the most important thing here is the rationale. The final thing that I want to point you to are these recommendations from the ACSM. For novice individuals, this mostly refers to people who trained many years ago and are no longer training. So maybe they have some experience, but they've not been training recently. Or people who have never lifted before. So you can see on the top here, I've got novice individuals and I've got muscular strength. So somebody who's trying to get stronger. These are the parameters that I'm going to focus on. Somebody who wants to gain muscle size, muscle hypertrophy, I will use this top part here, novice individuals, for people who want to get bigger. And for people who want to get more powerful and they're novices, I'm going to use these here. I mean, I don't think that you're going to probably have too many clients who want to increase power off the jump, so I don't know about that. But so I think most of you are going to be focusing either on hypertrophy or strength. And what you choose is really going to depend on the client's goals. If they're looking to put on muscle, if they're looking to get toned or something of that nature, you're probably going to stick to hypertrophy. If they're looking to get strong, increase strength, 1 rep max, something like that, you probably stick with strength or power. You can see on the bottom, we have for trained individuals. So this is for people who have been working out for 6 months or longer. They're considered trained because they have the specific adaptations to impose demands from the resistance training. And so I'm going to walk you through how I'm going to operationalize these for the homework. So let's jump in. Okay, gang, you can see that I've got the assignment pulled up here on the left-hand side. I've got a few things filled out, but please do not follow my instructions. Do as I say, not as I do. I just wanted to throw something in here so that you would understand where my choices were coming from, but obviously you're going to have more information. So I've got an untrained individual who's looking to build muscle, and they're going to be working out 4 days per week. I've got them on this side. They're going to be doing upper body, and I've selected, because they want to build muscle, I've selected they're going to be doing hypertrophy. So on my right-hand side of the screen, you'll see I've got the hypertrophy ACSM guidelines up here. And I'm going to be focusing on this top box where it shows novice individuals. Again, this is going to be somebody who's been resistance training for less than 6 months, or somebody who has resistance trained but has not resistance trained recently. So maybe within the last couple of months. So they lost all their adaptations to training. All right, so now we're going to do this upper body routine. If you can remember from my earlier portion here with the PowerPoints, we're going to alternate push and pull. I like to start with bench press. I think that's like push is more, to me, is more intense than a pull. So because this person we'll say they've never exercised before, they're going to be doing a chest press machine. If you can remember, I can spell. If you can remember back to modifications, the way that we make exercises easier is to put them on things like machines where we're not challenging our neurological system. Once we've progressed a little bit from machines, we can move on to either body weight, or maybe we can add some resistance bands. Maybe we can move to some cable work. Cables allow a lot of degrees of freedom, despite the fact that they're still machines. You don't have these pivot points the way that you do with machines, where you're really restricted in your range of motion. And then from cables, maybe we move on to those barbells and other types of free weights. So we're going to be at the bottom of the barrel with this person. We're going to start with sets and reps. Well, how do I choose? If this person has never resistance trained before, I'm going to be on the low end. So I'm going to do 1 set, because 1 set is not different from 2 sets. So it doesn't matter if I add an extra stimulus. But 2 sets is different from 3 sets. So if you've got somebody who's been resistance training for, say, 3 months, maybe you want to start them at 3 sets instead of 1 or 2. Something else I want to note is that if you load somebody who's new to resistance training too heavily, like if you demand too much of them on the first day, they're paying you $150 an hour to achieve their goal and to do it without being in too much pain. But if you prescribe way too much work, they're going to be so sore, they're not going to want to come back to you. So just be mindful of that there, err on the side of caution, get the feedback from the client, and then adjust as needed. I'm going to start with 1 set. I'm going to do, I have the choice here to do anywhere between 6 and 20 reps. I'm going to do, since I'm only doing 1 set, I'm going to do 15 reps here. My intensity, what can I choose? I can choose 70 to 80% of the 1 rep max. I have probably 1 rep max this person on a chest press machine as part of my needs assessment. And so I would be able to do that. I'm going to start on the low end, 70% of the 1 rep max. Bench press or chest press. I'm going to go over how you would handle this in other scenarios, but we'll just do this right now. Then the length of rest I have is 1 to 2 minutes. Well, since this person is only doing 1 set, I'm only going to prescribe 1 minute of rest. In all honesty, if I had prescribed 2 sets here, I probably would put 2 minutes of rest for this noob. All right, next thing. So this is a push exercise. The next thing I'm going to want to do is a pull exercise. So I'm going to do a lat pull down machine. I'm going to prescribe basically the same thing. So 1 set. Pardon me, I'm getting over I was really sick last week, which is kind of why I've been It's a struggle, guys. All right. So what do? I'm not going to 1 rep max a lat pull down machine. I'm not going to prescribe a lat pull down machine as a percentage of 1 rep max chest press machine. That just doesn't make sense. So in Canvas, I dropped an article there for you to take a look. We can use rating of perceived exertion, but what does rating of perceived exertion mean in the context of resistance training? Well, let me tell you, it's something called repetitions in reserve. So if I'm looking at an RPE of 7, which translates to about 70%, that means I want that person to work at a weight where they have 3 reps left in the tank once they finish that last rep that I've assigned. As opposed to if I've assigned somebody a 10 out of 10, that means they have no reps left in the tank. That's max effort. If I assign a 9 out of 10, they do a rep and they have 1 more rep left remaining in the tank. So I'm going to prescribe a 7 out of 10, and that tells this person when you finish that 15th rep, it should feel like you have 3 more left in the tank. All right, same thing. It starts to get easy because then you can just repeat yourself over and over again. Okay, so I've got push, pull. So I'm going to go back to push. I'm going to do a shoulder press machine. Boom. And then I'm going to do, basically, I'm just going to copy and paste all this. I'm not going to do a shoulder press as a percentage of my 1 rep max. Chest press, usually shoulder press you do or shoulder work you do as a percentage of your jerk, but this person is probably not jerking. So we'll just use repetitions in reserve over here. All right, shoulder press. So I've got a push, a pull, a push. Now I'm going to go back to a pull. I'm going to go back to those lats, but I'm going to go to a different plane. So here I've got concentric adduction, shoulder adduction. So here I'm going to do concentric horizontal abduction of the shoulder with a machine row. And I'm just going to follow the same parameters. Again, it does not make sense to do this as a percentage of my 1 rep max chest press. So here we go. Let me think. What else can I put here? Do I have any other multi-joint exercises that I want to work? Maybe I want to do... I've got a push, pull. Maybe I'm going to go to a pec deck or a fly machine. Chest fly machine. This is a single joint, so now this is going to be the most intense. I can do 1 set of 15 reps. I probably don't want to do this at 70% of my 1 rep max chest press. This person, is probably not in a position that's going to be really intense for this exercise. So I'm just going to choose a 7 out of 10 RPE. All right, so that's a push, pull. Maybe I do, I know I'm going back to multi-joint here, but maybe I do an upright row with a cable. Should be okay. I do 1 set of 15. Well, I'll just copy the whole row, right? Kind of makes sense. And even though this is a multi-joint and this is a single joint, remember, this is a more intense exercise. And then this is, and we're alternating push and pull. So I'm going to give those pulls a rest. I'm going to go to a push. I'm going to do a pull. Now I can go back to my pushes. Let's see. Maybe I want to do some front raises or some side raises. Maybe some side raise machine. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, you know. Again, I'm not going to do that as a percent of my 1 rep max chest press. Kind of weird to do 70%. It's kind of really heavy. All right, so I've got my push, pull. Maybe now I'm going to go into some bicep curls. Single joint exercise. I'm probably not going to do that as a percentage of my 1 rep max. Maybe I do some bicep curl machine. And then I do a tricep extension machine of some sort. Again, I'm not going to do that at that percentage, so we'll do that here. Oh my God, there's a mosquito just devouring my foot right now. Okay, now here we've got the last exercise I'm going to put in here is actually going to be a core exercise. We spend all our day sitting down in our desk, well, a lot of us, sitting down hunched over our computers with our terrible posture. So let's put in some bird dog here. Actually, let's put in dead bug because this person's new to exercise. So that's probably going to be too hard. I'm going to do, I can do 2 sets of 10 reps per side. I'm just gonna do light because I'm gonna do it unweighted. I don't really need to. I mean, I could put rest here before they go to the cool down, but now I've got my 10 exercises here. Okay. Please do not copy this. That's a violation of academic integrity. All right, guys, moving on. I've got my next table up here. I'm gonna do upper body and I'm gonna do strength. So I know this is like, please bear with me. I know these assignments aren't perfect. I'm doing the best I can. I've never taught this version of the class before, so I'm probably gonna have to make some adjustments based on how the assignments come back. What I've assigned here is to basically take the same person and make them a trained person instead of a beginner. So the idea is that we're gonna choose. I'm just gonna do some sort of modification of this, or I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna jump in. I'm going to do upper body strength. On this side, you can see I've got muscular strength. So instead of looking at the novice or individuals, I'm going to be looking at the trained individuals, okay? So let's say I'm going to choose a chest day. I don't know, maybe a back and let's do chest and back. Yeah, let's do chest and back. All right, so I'm going to start with, now that this person is trained, I need to progress any exercise that I've had in here to something that's either cables or free weights. And it's going to, or I can progress it by making it, closed chain, unilateral. I have so many options, okay? I am going to select, let's see, I can choose as many sets as I want to. So above 3, I could do that if I wanted to. I'm probably going to stick with 3. There probably is no need for me to go crazy, especially if I'm trying to fill 10 exercises here as instructed, 10 exercises. Okay, so I'm going to start with a bench press because that's a very intense barbell bench press. That's an intense push. Let's do 3 sets of, let's see, I can do progressive to heavy loads, 1 to 6 reps. Let's say 6 reps. 3 sets of 6. Well, okay, so you might say, why would I want to do a strength cycle for somebody who's trying to get bigger? Well, you want to change the stimulus that you're giving a person. So I think it helps to do a cycle of hypertrophy, then a cycle of strength. You do maybe a month or 6 weeks of hypertrophy work. And then maybe you do a month or 6 weeks of strength work so that you can get stronger to then be lifting heavier weights to go back to your hypertrophy work. And so these things work together. And it's just a way to change the stimulus. So I'll do 3 sets of 6 reps. What intensity? 80 to 100% of 1 rep max. Since I have higher repetitions, I'm going to want to be on that lower end. If I had 3 sets of 1 rep, I would be at that 100%, or higher, maybe 85 to 90%. But because I'm at 6 reps, I'm going to need to be at that lower end. So I'm going to put 80% of the 1 rep max bench press. That's pretty heavy. It's a pretty high volume. So I'm going to go with the longer 3 minutes. Let's go with 2 because I want this person to get out of here today. I'm seeing right now the flaws in telling you to prescribe 10 exercises because this is going to be like a beast of a routine. But anyway, it's just an exercise. Let's keep going. I've got my push here. If I'm doing back and buys, maybe the next thing I want to do is a lat pull. Maybe I'll do pull up. Oh yeah, let's do some pull ups. Yes, baby. Pull ups. Well, I can follow the same cycle here. It's going to be a little bit tricky because the pull-up is like a body weight exercise. I guess I could do them weighted, or I could do a lat pull down. I think it's more functional to do a pull-up. So we'll just say 3 sets of, this one's a little bit tricky. Let me go to lat pull down, cable pull down, cable lat pull down. 3 sets of 6 reps. I'm not going to do, again, 80% of one rep max anything, but I could do an 8 out of 10 RPE. And then maybe I do, I don't know, these are kind of less intense. A minute, I can talk. A minute and a half between reps. Okay, so I did my barbell bench press, so maybe I want to introduce some unilateral work. Let's do some dumbbell and incline dumbbell press. Want to work that upper chest. Now we can start doing our whole thing. 3 sets, 6 reps. I might want to do these a little bit lower because this is a pretty intense exercise. Maybe I'm tired from doing this. And then again, I think it would be kind of weird to, would you even be able to do this at 80% with dumbbells? I'm not sure. So I'm going to put 8 out of 10 RPE, because that would probably be too heavy at 80% work rep max of the bench press. And then I'll give myself 1.5 minutes of rest in between. All right. I'm going to go back to my pull. So let's do some pendlay rows, which is like a bent over row with a barbell. Let's do 3 sets of 6. I'll do this at 8 out of 10 RPE. I'll put this 1.5 minutes in between. We're getting swole. All right, so now maybe I've got my bench press. I've got my incline dumbbell press. Maybe I want to do some decline flies, dumbbell flies. And then I'll do my same thing. This is going to be pretty hard. So maybe I'm going to stick to this. Probably get pretty fatigued. I'll do 1.5 minutes of rest in between. I'm going to go back to my pull. That's a push. So let me go back to my pull. So I've got rows, bent over rows. Let's see. Let's do a reverse fly. I'm going to stick with these parameters here. Now I'm moving into my single, let's see, reverse flies. What else do I want to do? Maybe I want to work on some triceps. So maybe some close grip bench press. I know that this is a multi-joint movement, but really the emphasis here is on the triceps, more so because the hands are close. So it's really more triceps than it is anything else. And I don't want to burn out my triceps at the top. Even though it is a multi-joint movement, the focus is the smaller muscle. So I'm going to do this because, again, it does not make sense to prescribe this. I guess it could be prescribed as a percentage of the 1 rep max bench press, but it would be a much lower than 80%, such that it was some RPE of 8 out of 10. All right, so I've got my, maybe I'm going to do here some, let's see. I mean, how do you make bicep curls fancy? I just do some, let's do some hammer curls. Why not? Hammer curls for the girls. 3 sets of 6, RPE 10. This is going to be a very long routine. That's okay. And maybe here, instead of doing more lifting, maybe I'm going to prescribe now some core work, some abs, and some lower back. So let's see. Let's do bird dog here. 2 sets times 10%. I think that's what I put up here. So I'm just going to copy this. And then maybe I finish it off with some Superman. Get that back. Some more. So 2 sets. I mean, I guess you could do it as an isometric exercise, or I'm going to do it as a 50-degree hip extension then. 50-degree hip extension. Get that core. I know it's back, but lower back, but we'll just do this. 2 sets of, let's see, 2 sets of 10 reps. Light. So body weight. We'll just do body weight. All right, there she is in all her glory. Help you get strong with a C. Get those gains with a Z. Okay. Please don't copy this. Please, please, please don't. I'm gonna upload this, and I've got plagiarism review on, so whatever happens, happens. All right. I hope this is helpful. Good luck out there.